Bonnie 52, how are you, folks? I'm out traveling through a little small town. It's called Dexter, Michigan. Really, really cool place to ride around. And I really wanted to talk to you about motorcycles and who we ride with normally. Now, first of all, let's talk about this one-lane bridge that I'm going to go under with this car. Yep. I look like a grown child. So, tomorrow I am going to go ride with a non-Harley guy. And that's not a big deal at all because I don't care what you ride. But I was thinking, are the people that you ride with mostly, and I'm not talking about like on a group ride or a charity ride or some sort of other organized ride, but the buddies or the girlfriends that you kind of ride with, have you noticed that they're the same brand as your motorcycle? Or is it just me? So there's this place that's, I don't know, 110 miles away from my house. And it's actually an old, small gas station and a gas pump. And people that ride in Michigan probably know it as the old gas station. As a matter of fact, here's a picture of it right here. And I've always wanted to go up there. And I'm thinking, first of all, so you're going to ride a couple hundred miles to get a picture? Hell yeah! What a great idea, right? So, it's not like the old gas station is on the map, right? So, there's a couple of sites that I follow, and a couple groups, so one group of riders in Michigan. So, I put on there, hey, does anybody have the address to the old gas station? And is it still there, blah, 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 for right up there, and my plan was to do that tomorrow. So, one of the guys that is on that page, as well as follows my channel, and I follow his name is Ricky, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about him, hopefully in the next video. But Ricky responded, yeah, it's still there, here's the address, and a bunch of other people said, hey, check out this tree, blah, 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 and I'm like, alright, I'm going to drive 2 hours away, it's not on the map, I'm going to check out a tree and an old gas pump. Yeah, sounds about right. So Ricky sent me a message that just said, hey, if you're interested, I could go up Sunday, and we will ride together. Now, I believe Ricky's about 50 miles from me, I believe. Has rode out here some, and we've talked about, riding at some point, but just have not had the chance with all the crap going on last year. So, I said, hey, sign me up. I think I'm good for that. I said, my only challenge is I got to be back to my house by 4 or 4:30, something like that. As if you follow my channel, you'll know I do a Sunday night live fireside chat with the boys, which is myself, Bronco Riding, Harley Day Rider. It's a commitment we make every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And he's like, hey, no problems. A couple hours out, a couple hours back. I'm like, it sounds good. And he said, hey, I may have another buddy come in. And I'm like, hey, that'd be great, right? So we're talking about where we're going to meet tomorrow morning. And, I've watched many of his videos. And he has an Indian Roadmaster, if I recall, right? And I'm like, and some of his buddies have Indians as well. And I'm like, hey, you okay for a Harley guy to come along? And we're kind of laughing about it. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking, this is really cool because YouTube and the community that we're in of riding motorcycles, we've met a ton of friends, right? Two of my best friends, as you know, I met on YouTube, right? So, and Ricky's a guy that rides, and I'm like, hey, that would be cool. And I'm thinking, most of the people, now let's not count whether you go on hog chapter rides, which I've been on a couple, but I don't do that anymore. I think there's some danger in those rides personally with some of the people that I've ridden with. And, other rides that you may ride, a toy benefit or whatever, and you ride with a bunch of different people. But in general, and a lot of us ride by ourselves a lot. I ride by myself a lot with my wife, Mrs. Bodine, a lot. Do you find that your buddies or your girlfriends or whatever that you ride with are mostly the same type of motorcycle? Now, I'm thinking about that, and maybe it's just logistical now that I live in Michigan, but I think the answer is always, to me, has been, yeah, I kind of do. I'm not sure that's the right thing, right? Because, again, I don't care what you ride. You ride a motorcycle, a trike, I don't care what you ride. We're all brothers and sisters. So, but I found myself, I'm like, man, I need to branch out. And I was kind of thinking about it at first. I'm like, I don't know, if I see an Indian, I may feel dirty. I may have to go and take a shower or something. Isn't that beautiful? I'm just kidding, folks. All the Indian folks that follow my channel are going towards the unsubscribe button. But the reality is, I think some of the Indian bikes are really cool. So I'm really looking forward to checking his out, and as well as riding with him and getting to meet him. And seems like a really good guy. He has a good channel. Again, I'll talk about that in another video. Hopefully we'll do either some sort of dual vlog, or you'll see us ride, and I'll video the ride that we take up to the gas station, the old gas station. But I think it'll be cool. But I'm like, and maybe it's because there's more Harleys than other bikes. I don't know. I mean, so there's a Hog chapter, Harley Owners Group, and then, people that ride Hondas or Goldwings, they have their own chapter or group or whatever you want to call it. And then you got sport bikes. Those guys all ride and gals ride together. So I don't know. I mean, do you do that? Because it truly doesn't matter to me. But I do, when I think about it, I'm like, people I ride with really mostly have Harleys. I don't know. Maybe it's generational. Maybe it's because I ride with people more my age and they're more of a cruiser type. I don't know. But it's I'm really looking forward to getting on that ride and seeing the old gas station, getting to know Ricky a little bit. And, we just met some really cool people on YouTube. And I want to tell you, there's a guy by the name of Steve, and I won't tell you Steve's last name. He follows me. He's active in our live streams. Just an overall good guy. And I do have a P.O. box that folks sometimes will send stickers to, and places I can send stuff out. Isn't that beautiful? Man. So I got a little package from Steve, and I open it up, and it's a couple poker chips, and it's a gremlin bill. Now, if you're not a Harley person, you know that a lot of Harley people put gremlin bells on, and there's a reason why people say you're supposed to do that, right? But it has to be gifted to you. You can't buy it. So I was gifted one for my Road King Classic, and then when I got this bike, my 2018 Ultra Limited, I got one from my wife. And so I have a couple questions. First of all, about the gremlin bill. Can I put that on another bike so I have two on a bike, or do I really need to hold out on it? He said, hey, hang it in your truck, and I'm like, that's a good idea. I wonder if that counts. But first of all, Steve, thank you for that. I appreciate you for sure. That was super nice of you, and we've known each other through YouTube here for a year or so, but thanks a lot. I know you're down in Georgia, and one of these days we'll find a way to connect and ride with our brides for sure. So, well, for some reason I decided to take this road, and of course it's a little chilly in Michigan today, so a little cold, but you know what? As I tell a good friend all the time, when you have heated grips, you really don't need much more. Alright folks, that is it for me. Thanks for checking in the channel. Hey, there's a couple videos, some of my favorite videos I'm going to leave at the end of this. Check them out, and I want you to know that I appreciate you. Be safe, be vigilant, And make sure you check on a friend. And we'll talk to you later. Woohoo! America!